Hey everybody! I finally got my buttons pushed and everything is working. So here we are. Oh, ding, there goes all my notifications. We are live. So hello. Good to see everybody. It's wonderful to see everybody in chat. I have the chat window up going here. Really happy that everyone is enjoying this and doing this. I've seen so many wonderful doodles up on the Facebook group. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should check the link in the description down below. Definitely join up. Would love to see everybody's projects and all the doodles. I see all of our art friends here in chat, which is wonderful. Love seeing you guys. Love being able to do this. This has been a delightful surprise for me. I'm going to go ahead and make myself diddle biddle, so down here, so I can be little me, and then hopefully this is going to work. Oh, it is. There we go. So here's, now that I'm small again, yeah, I've really enjoyed doing this with you. This is the 3 that we've done before, and really enjoyed this process. I'm seeing how laggy the live is there, so it's now catching up. Just as a quick heads up, if for some reason the stream goes down, just give me about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes for my machine to reboot. I have a very, very old computer, and it has recently started to make noises that a 2011 Xeon server is long in the tooth. So maybe I need to upgrade it, but it's been my trusty old Dell workstation, and it has all the hardware in it that allows me to connect all my screens and computers and stuff. So if it's not broken, I didn't want to fix it. So but recently it started to make little noises that it might. I'm going to be working on that. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for being part of the Art Sherpa family. I really, you guys, you are the part of this that you're the other half of what makes this wonderful. And thank you, Angela, so much for the support, and everybody for just coming out here, being part of the community, sharing, posting up what you guys, what you've doodled, and supporting me, because I really, really like to see the work that you guys do. I'm learning to do this. As you can see, I started out here, which was sort of like, it was very beginner. And then I got a little more confident with this one. And then this one, I actually really like. I liked this. I'm going to do some more shapes like this today. I'm going to experiment with this. And I really liked how this came out. So just been doing that. And yeah, I did get a haircut. I had to look more adult. And long-haired hippie people need not apply. So I had to get a haircut. Part of that life stuff. And yeah, so good to see everybody. I'm just gonna take a quick glance down here in chat. Everybody's here. So nice to see you guys. I'm going to today. I've got some ideas I want to do. I want to kind of design, divide this into a couple little spaces, and I have some ideas for doing some patterns on here that we're gonna try. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to use them today, but I have some Derwent Intense ink pencils over here that I might try to use for some colors. And I've got all these pens. Kim, who's in chat most of the time, I'm not sure if I've seen her yet today, but she sent me a lot of my colored pens, and Delphine set me up with all the other stuff here. So yeah, I've kind of got my little art stuff set up and ready to go. Now today, let me see if I can get this camera to go. Oh, there it goes. Zoom me in. All right, so I'm going to push this over, put these aside, and we'll get in here and start to do some patterning and some idea stuff. And I think that I will start with my, this is the '01 black micron pen, and I really like these. I've been really happy with the microns as a selection of pens to use. They oh, my eyes can't read that. Is it Maria? By Maria? Well, thank you. Thank you so much for all of the support in chat, you guys. It helps me buy computer parts and keep the electrical lights on and all that kind of stuff because I love doing this and your support makes it possible. If you're not a member of the Art Sherpa patronage, please join. It is how we keep doing what I'm doing here, and I really appreciate all the support. Oh, Indie Kitty, you too. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's been nice to be able to continue to do this, and with your guys' ongoing support, I'm gonna keep doing it. I just didn't expect to enjoy doing this as much as I have. So today I'm going to try. I'm gonna do a triple design. I'm gonna start with a kind of dot in the middle. That'll make a little. Oh wait, no, it turned into a squiggle, and then that squiggle turned into a line. Whoop. Okay, so that divided. That just happened. And oh, Nadine, thank you. Gosh, there's so many people being so wonderful and generous, you guys. I mean, thank you. It is my great privilege to be able to do this. Sorry if there's freezing over here. No, it seems like my stream is excellent. It says it's excellent. I don't know. I'm not the computer person. I just look at the button and see what it says. But if for some reason things, like I said, if they freeze up and break up, then I'll just be rebooting and coming right back in here. So I will stop and keep going on. But gosh, Nadine, that just super generous. I can't say thank you enough for helping with all this stuff. But I'm gonna keep doodling. So I got my little start squiggle, and I'm gonna refollow the line a little bit, and this one's gonna break off and go this way. Whoop, whoop. And there's Janine. Thank you so much too. Oh my goodness, guys. You know, it is my privilege to be able to do this, and you guys make it possible, and I really, really appreciate that. It's sort of magic that I get to come on here and have all of our lovely Art Sherpa friends and doodle with you guys. So thank you for being part of this. So here's my little divided area. I've got three little divisions, so I have 3 different patterns that I want to kind of do, and I think that I'm going to start by I'm going to make these little divider lines have some. I don't want it to be just a line. I want to make some extra. So I'm gonna. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna make some. And then over here I'll make another one. And that's just because I wanted it to have a little extra shape. And that one, I'm gonna make that over here. And now that I did this, I'm gonna have to make this into a pattern. So I'm gonna go, and this has just become my pattern so that I can make some lines. And this isn't at all planned. It's just my random doodle for over here. And I'm going to use colors in that. I think I'm going to make lots of little colors along that. But I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And yeah. So, gosh, everybody, so nice to see all that stuff in here. All right, I'm gonna keep making my little doodles here. So I get distracted by how nice it is to see everybody in chat. I will read the chat and I will talk with you guys. But I gotta keep doing this. So next I'm gonna make this one. I've been trying to do more organic shapes because I tend to do architectural shapes. Thank you, Penny. And so I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to do a little bit of architectural and a little bit of organic. These pieces are going to be very organic. I guess these can be kind of architectural. That seems reasonable. So I'm going to make a little dividing line. And no real plan here. Just starting to make my little doodles. But today, I had some thoughts this week on what I wanted to talk about, and it sort of starts with a parable, I guess, of sorts. And I tried to do some research on where it came from, and I couldn't find an origin, but I found lots of versions. So what I realized is that I could make it my own and still tell and still have the story be valid. So it sort of starts like this. If and you can kind of personalize this. If you were, imagine that you're at a party, right? And at this party, it's a very crowded room. There's lots of stuff. And you got your cup of coffee. There's a nice big mug of coffee. And now you got to walk all the way across this room full of people with this cup of coffee, right? And so as you're walking across the room with this cup of coffee, somebody bumps into you. Not being mean, not unexpected, they just bump into you. Boom. And then the question is, what falls out of your cup? And the answer to that is coffee. Coffee falls out of your cup because you had coffee in the cup. If you had tea in the cup, tea would spill out. If you had milk in the cup, milk would fall out, right? And so this is a good analogy for life, because in life, we're in this great big party with lots and lots of other people all over the place. And we bump into them all the time, whether that's in traffic or at a store or online, just kind of anywhere. There's just people everywhere. It's a great big wide world out there. And so when we bump into people, whatever we have in our cup spills out. And so I realized that I was carrying a lot of stuff in my cup that I didn't know I was carrying. I was carrying like this thought process that I needed to be ready to defend myself, to be to protect my family, to be worried about this hostile world that was outside of me. So I ended up carrying with me a lot of what I would consider it wasn't angry, but it was conflict. It was very I was very conflicty, ready to fight, ready to be protect myself. You can't get one over me. You can't steal from me. You can't trick me. And so and that probably came from many years of martial arts and news cycles that say that the world is going to get you, and that things are hard out there. And I got to thinking about that, and that was not what I wanted to carry in my cup. I didn't want to be I didn't want to default to that nature where I saw the world from this sort of conflict-oriented space. And so I really had to start thinking about what did I want to carry with me in my cup in this party that is the great big wide world that we're all in. And of course, it's got coffee, but yeah, just distracted by chat. You know, so other than the coffee that I drink all the time, because powered by coffee, what is it that I wanted to carry with me? And I realized that after watching Ted Lasso, which I don't know if you've seen it, it's pretty good. But after watching Ted Lasso, I realized that curiosity was an important characteristic to carry with me, because I found that if I assumed I knew everything that was going on, or I was assessing the world, or I was gathering this information up in different ways, that oftentimes I was wrong, or misassessing, or not getting the whole picture of what things were. But if I started with curiosity, then everything went. Oh, look, little kitty came and visited again. Hello, kitty. She likes, big kitty. Hello, kitty, kitty. She likes to inspect every once in a while, see what's going on. Kitty, all right. She's been fed, so she should be okay. She just it seems like it's now a regular thing where she comes in the show now and just checks on what's going on, make sure that it's all good. But I found that when I started with curiosity as a set point, and I was curious as to why things are happening the way that they are, or people are doing the things that they do, and I didn't assume that I knew what was going on. I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot better. And when I combine that with kindness, so I wanted to be kind and curious, and those two attributes I have found have completely changed how I interact and see the world. I now define myself as someone who is kind and curious. And that revisiting how I see myself and how I frame the world has definitely changed a lot of my base happiness. I find that I don't always assume now. I don't assume things are just going wrong. I can, or that things are going to get me or they're going to be bad. I now have a bit more like, well, what is going on? That feels a lot better inside me, and so I'm happier as a little human when I look at the world from a curious standpoint more than a kind and curious standpoint. So that's been a big change for me over this last year or so. Good to see everybody having enjoying this. Yeah. So I'm I have really sort of pivoted to trying to see that whenever I see something in the world and I don't understand, or it's new to me or strange to me, or really everything, I just try to look at it with kindness and curiosity, and that has been a delightful change of pace for me. I don't know if you guys have anything, like that, but it was it's probably one of the bigger changes that's happened over the last year or so. Okay, this thing I'm gonna start now. I really liked these thingies, these little whoop whoop shapes, and so I'm gonna do some more versions of this in one of these sections. Then over here in this section, I'm gonna do something kind of similar to this that I've got a little pattern idea for, which will be a little different, and then we'll do something else over here. But I've got my green pen, and I'm gonna try to make a shape. Okay, I have made a shape. Now I'm going to make another shape. There, and then I'm going to make another little shape off here, and I'll make another little shape. That will kind of disappear underneath that one. That seems pretty good. And then maybe make another little shape. There. And we'll make another little shape. Over there. And thank you, Janine. Make one more little shape. Over there. Are they too touched? Okay. So, I think maybe should I squeeze another little one in here? I think I should squeeze another little one in. Maybe I'll make a little tiny guy that kind of goes. That's neat. And then one more over here. I can fill this space in. Make it. Okay. There's my little base shape, and I'm going to use the other green line pen, and I'm gonna use this other kind of green pen to make the inner. I'm gonna fill the inner space with some. Actually, I was gonna do green dots inside here, or green circles, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this green to add some little texture lines on here. And then I'm going to come back with blue inside there. So it's kind of like on some watery thing. That's what I think. So here we go. And so I have found that now that I have spent some time thinking about what I carry in my cup with me every day, that I'm happier because it's much more intentional. So, when I run into people at the market and they're doing something crazy, or at least that I think is crazy, like they pull up in the no parking zone and get out of their car and they walk in the store and they just leave their car there. And it's like, but now all of us have to drive around your car. And that used to really bug me, stuff like that. When I would perceive people as not obeying the rules of society. And so those types of things would irk me. And what I realized was that, or at least I came to the thought of, is that I don't really know what's going on in their lives. Maybe they've got an emergency thing where they've got to run in and get some Pepto-Bismol because they need it, or they're late for work, or all sorts of human things that happen. And that when I change it to be now I'm curious why they're doing that, and from a place of kindness, I go, well, they probably have a very good reason for doing that. I just am not privy to it. Yeah, and thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of the support and stuff, and you know, I I uh I have a so in college, we had a professor, uh, and he was our art teacher for Cinnamon and I. I Cinnamon and I ended up going to the same school, and which was really great. And you can kind of, like that happened because, um, pretty girl and boy followed girl to school so he could be with girl more often. That was pretty much how it that went down. I'm making little blue bubbles here. I'm filling my space in here with bubbles. And so Reverend Talley was our art professor. And of course, I started taking art classes because I wanted to be with the pretty girl more. So why not take more classes that she was taking? And so I ended up in art classes, which was really nice. Something that I didn't ever really think that I would take a lot. But this professor, Reverend Talley was his name, and he used to, because he would ask me, he loved asking me questions because I would pontificate about all of the things, like, why did Brancusi do his sculptures with such brutalism the way that he did? And Brancusi was one of my favorite artists at the time, and so he would call me Professor Cooney because I would just talk about things, and so and I had a lot of thoughts on things, and so he got a big kick out of asking me questions in class, and I enjoyed the talking. So I've always been a bit of a talker, and so when I started thinking about what I was going to do here on this sort of this space with you guys, I didn't really know at first, but I realized I wanted to sort of talk about life stuff that was happening, and that got me to thinking, well, I could just wax philosophical about what's going on in my life, because not a lot of people, I feel like, talk genuinely about the experience of being a human in this world of humanity stuff. And so I figured this would be as good of a thing as any to talk about. So when I'm out here, some of the things I like to do is just sort of tell you what I'm thinking and what I'm going through, because if I don't have, I need to be able to just talk about things that are important and make sense to me. And so because I'm not really an art teacher, I mean, I'm learning this with you guys. I figure that I can also talk to you about just sort of the life things that are happening as they go. And so that's how I came up with the idea that while I'm doing this with you guys, I'm just going to talk about the journey through the little human life world that I'm experiencing with you. That's right, Delphine. The name for this thing is called a flux in Zen Tangle. And I think they're kind of neat. But I'm not a Zen Tangle teacher. So I try to not use too many Zentangle words. I'm trying to be respectful of the certified Zentangle teachers out there, because there are those people, and someday I may become one, which I think would be really fun. But before I can become a Zentangle teacher, I wanted to make sure that this was something that everybody enjoyed doing, and kind of in keeping with the Zen nature of things. I was just going to talk about what happens to what I'm experiencing in my little humany life. And so, as long as you guys don't mind my my waxing philosophical, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna be a little waxer, waxing my surfboard of life with philosophy. And so, see, I kind of like this. I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna do some bubble, some. I'm gonna fill these in with some of these ink tints, I think, in a minute. But right now, I'm just sort of framing this. And I kind of like how this is turning out. This is pretty neato. Happy making. It's making my, as they say, it's smoothing out the folds of my brain and making me feel happy. I was just reading over here what you guys are saying in chat. It's super distracting for me to see you guys over there in chat, because I want to engage. I want to engage with everyone. Ooh, look at that. The bubbles got big. Make a big bubble. Look at that. Little bubbles now around it. See, the hard part about this is that I don't want to make like repetitive patterns, but then in trying to not make a pattern, you make a pattern. And so you got to break the pattern. So I'm using the pen to fill in the little spaces around here, because I want it to be like this is on little water. I want it to feel like these are flux in the water. Not smoke on the water, it's flux on the water. And I'm going to come back in and I'm going to fill some of those. I'm going to use some ink tense pens, some ink tense things, and gonna fill some of these in with some color in a little bit. Make a big bubble here. Little bubbles fill in the spaces. So my general plan, if you guys will stick with me, I love doing this. I love coming out and seeing you guys and hanging out with you for about an hour and doing this doodle thing, because I think the doodle is nice. It makes me feel good to doodle for a little while. And Kitty's over there playing, and we can talk. I can talk a little bit about the life, the universe, and everything, and do it in sort of a low-key way that we can all enjoy. And I really enjoyed the TV series of Ted Lasso. I felt like it was good adult role modeling. Where it showed how grown-ups should handle difficult situations. And so I took a lot of good lessons from that show. And I've you know I've recently found another show which is a very different pace. It's and I have to warn. I will tell you guys about this show because I think it's also really good, but it's not safe for work. There's lots of bad words and base humor in it, but it's also kind of relevant to how it's all done. It's called Shorzy on Hulu, and it's a series about hockey players. And what's remarkable is that these hockey players they're just doing their hockey thing. They're talking trash to them, and that's where most of the not safe for work stuff comes from adult base humor in the show. But what's remarkable about it is that it shows this incredible amount of humanity and compassion that these otherwise hockey hooligans show for each other. And are you back, Kitty? Hey, Kitty, what are you doing, Kitty? Meow. That's it? Okay, that was it. Just wanted to come in and do it. And so so these guys have a tremendous amount of good behavioral modeling, like how to deal with conflict, how to be supportive friends, how to they talk about like being what it means to be a hockey player. You give back to the community and you do all these things, and it's really good. The show is called Shorzy, like Shore, Shoresy, Shorzy, and that's the name of the main character. His last name is Shore, and the nickname that they gave him was Shorzy. So it was what I would, and it's so funny because when it first comes on, it warns you. It says for mature audiences only, and we all joke when we watch it. It's like, but no mature audience would ever watch it. It's sort of this TV series is the intersection of Kevin Smith and Ted Lasso. If you ever watch any Kevin Smith movies like Chasing Amy, Mallrats, Dogma, they're all of those very Clerks. The very intensely dialogue-driven, they're very dialogue-driven. And this definitely feels like Kevin Smith consulted on that project. And so it's anyway. I have been very, very much enjoying that series right now. I'm going through and watching it. I don't watch a lot of TV. Just it's never been a super thing for me. I used to watch anime, like crazy person. I watched anime, but I haven't seen a lot of good anime recently, and the anime world exploded, and there was so much anime that I couldn't keep up. And then also, I became a dad and started doing dad things. So, which had a lot less cartoon watching, but I used to really watch. I saw Akira when it came out, and Robotech, Gundam, all those. Bleach. Hello, kitty, kitty. You come back to say hello. Meow, meow, meow. What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, Wow, okay. Just wanted some attention. All right. Someone just said, they like Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I also think that Star Trek was a great philosophical teaching, you know, uh, TV series and movie series. You know, uh, I always appreciated the relationship between all of the characters, and I ended up when I was living in China. I didn't have a lot to do there when I wasn't at work, so other than playing Xbox games, which um, I became quite the mean TIE fighter pilot during those times. I was pretty good at that the Star Wars TIE fighter game that came out. Um, I watched Star Trek episodes, and I ended up watching all of Next Generation, all of Deep Space Nine, all of Voyager, and Voyager is one of those ones that just doesn't get enough good, good press. It was a really good series. Captain Janeway was an amazing captain, probably one of the better ones out there, just for like actually handling things. And yeah, it was just a really good series. It didn't have too many crazy things. Yeah, I liked watching that when I was stuck. Not stuck. I was making arcade games in China. And that was really crazy. That was like in 2005, 2006, I think, somewhere around there. And so I used to carry with me the thought of being in Star Trek. And the other another movie another movie series that really stuck with me because of the good nature of it was Ghostbusters. You know, uh, I liked all the Ghostbusters series. I liked the animated series. I liked I really liked the first movie a lot. Um, Kitty, you coming back? You just want like I don't know what you want, Kitty. You just want to be on YouTube. This is tail. This is I don't know. She's just decided that she's no, don't go over there. You can't be on my computer. She's now looking at the screens and checking out the lights. Yep, okay. You can't be up here. Oof! Kitty. Big kitty. Just interested. So of course I don't get to read as much as I like to, but I did see a YouTube video that talked about cat behavior, and they said that when cats come and jump in onto the thing that you're doing, that they want attention because they're like, whatever you're doing is not as important as what I am, so you should look at me and pet me. And sometimes she just wants to come and look at the things that are going on. So I know this is taking a little while to sort of. Oh my goodness! I have been talking and making little dots here a lot slower than I thought I was. We might have to go over a little bit today in the time, if you guys don't mind. You know, we'll just let it roll. But yeah, the original Ghostbusters. Yeah. Wipe my little nose. The original Ghostbusters series, I thought, was really good, or the original movie. These good-hearted guys, they they started out, being kind of kooky and chasing their dreams, And I love the scene, the first scene where they see the first ghost in the basement, and they're like, "What do we do?" And Ray's like, "I got an idea." And they turn around and they go, "Get him!" And then the ghost goes together, and they all run outside, and they're just laughing their little laughing, and having such a good time because they just got to see a real ghost. And I thought that was so cool, that they that their reaction there was just delight in seeing something that would normally terrify people. That it was what they were after. And that always stuck with me, that particular scene, because they were just laughing and carrying on and having such a good time because they found the thing that they loved. Okay, so that took a lot longer to doodle in than I expected. So, wow. All right, I'm going to move on. I may not be coloring this time. I'm not sure. We're going to do red and pink in the next one. And we're going to do, let's see here. How will I do this one? I think I'm going to, this is a different kind of, it's a flux also. Maybe we're going to fluxy up here. So this flux, it kind of goes, let's see if I can do it. I'm going to come out from here, and then I'm going to make a big round thing. It kind of comes down to here. And then I'm going to make another one that kind of goes up here, and then down to there. And then I'm going to make another one that kind of comes out. And then on the other side, I'll make these a little. I'm going to make this one kind of comes up. Those little flowers. All right, and then maybe I'll make, and then these are supposed to have little dots inside them too, and these get shaded. So I'm going to make, I did red, I'm going to make pink dots inside these. And these are going to be little, they're supposed to have dots. And I imagine that these are little beads inside there. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill in the negative space in here with pink pen. But I tend to like TV and movies that have a positive moral compass, I guess you could say about it. Those are the ones that tend to stick with me, at least. And so, I think that because you only get what you put in, and you have to be careful what you put in your brain pan, because like some things you can't, once it's in there, it can't necessarily get out. And so I tend to try to stick to things that have a positive moral value to them, because at least that's how I perceive it. So I'm filling in the space inside here with the pink because I thought it would look nice. And, you know, it's looking good. I think it's looking good. You know, make more little dots up here, more little bubbly dots that come in. Fill those in into our little fluxes. I think it's really cool that these all have a name in the Zentangle world. But again, right now, I am, at least for the time being, not certified Zentangler. I am just an amateur Zentangler. So I'm certifiable. So I call this Zen Doodling. Because we're learning from their process, but I'm not teaching it. We're just doing it together. And definitely post up your doodles up in group chat so that I can see them. Okay, that's kind of good. But what am I going to do out here in this other space? Let's make this. I want to make some more patterns. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to make this one around and this one around. That's good. I'm going to do that over here too. And I'm going to, that turned out okay. I'm going to try doing that some more. I'm going to go whoop, whoop. Yeah. Making some line patterns. They're not necessarily super symmetrical. What I have found when doing this is that it's okay to be a little experimental, because it's each individual, you know, the image isn't created by one line. It's the culmination of all the lines together that make it cool. So I get it. And sometimes even when you go over the line there, it's a little bit, it's okay. Because this isn't defined by one line. It's defined by all the lines together. And so that, I find, it's much more important to be consistent in what you're doing and sort of fill it all out so that all the space is used thoughtfully. And that's much more important than any line being perfect. See, that's kind of like, ooh, that feels very like 70s, you know, psychedelic, kind of cool in there. I like that. So that one's kind of neato, burrito. And let's see here. I'm flipping over my reference pages now because there's lots of good references inside here, but I'm not gonna necessarily use all of their things. So this was another one that I thought was kind of cool. Well, no, not. I'm gonna go back here and look at my reference pictures. I gotta figure out which I'm gonna do. I think I could do all the little. There's lots of dot ones that look neat, and I kind of like the fluxies though. These fluxies are neat, and these fluxies are neat, and you know, I like the dots. I kind of want to do more dots and fluxes, and I don't know. See, this is where I need more people. Well, so let's go with the colors. I'm going to do this next one in. I've done blue and green. I haven't done purple yet. I haven't done orange yet. I could do orange and yellow. That would be cool. Let's do orange and yellow. Okay. And maybe brown, because brown goes with orange and yellow too. So we can get fancy and use 4 colors. 4 colors. All right. Let's go and hey, you. Don't do that to my chair. I'm going to start with the darkest brown. And I'm going to try and Repeating pink bumps at the top of pink thing. Oh, I'm repeating pink bumps at the top. Okay, let me go back here. We do swirlies over there. We'll do some swirlies, yeah. I may put some. Oh yeah, just dots in those. Someone suggested dots in here. So dots, that worked out great. Look at that. Add some pink dots. I don't know if that was what you were thinking, but that turned out neat. I put dots in. Dots, 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 dots. And there's no rhyme or reason to my dots. They're decorative dots, so they get to go where they want to go. They sort of flow in the space. And again, that's one of the things that I just super enjoy about this particular art form is that it can be very loose and turn out quite nice. And that worked out good. Dots around there. And continuing those. It just creates a nice visual texture there. And I like abstract work because it allows everyone's brain to fill in the blank with what's it's supposed to be, because these are just lines on paper. They're not really anything specific, but our brain tells a story about them. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to figure out some sort of swirly thing to do. Boy, I hear the cat back there getting in. So we're going to make some swirl there, and then swirl there, and all of my swirls are right-handed swirls. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're swirling. And then I'm going to come over here and make another little swirl that way. And swirl there. Okay. Maybe little swirls down here. Little swirl. Okay. Now I'm going to come back with this other pen, this little different brown pen, and I'm going to give the swirl little lines coming off of them because I determined they needed little lines. That one did. And so I don't know how this is going to turn out yet. We're making little lines. I don't know how those are going to intersect there. They're going to do that. This is a full just free lining. Not sure how this is going to turn out yet. You find changing direction on swirls makes it too busy? You know what? I don't know. I'm just a right-handed swirler, so that just, it's just how it worked out. I'm not sure how these little swirls are going to turn out because these are ad hoc swirls. This is not a pattern anywhere. It was just me saying, okay, let's try some swirls and see how swirly goes. I kind of like they feel swirly. So, and they're now furry swirls. We're going to swirl around. And these little lines are going to kind of intersect with each other. I don't know what they're going to do yet. But there are no mistakes. There are only swirls. And so we'll keep going. Okay, we'll come over here and we'll do more swirls. Oh, kitty's jumping on stuff behind me. I hear everything crashing. All right, those are those. Now I need to put some more stuff inside here. I'm not exactly sure what to do, but I'm going to start with orange because I've got browns in there. And let's make some little circles. I'll make some circles inside here. I'm not sure what I'm going to call these, but they're little round orange shapes. They're kind of a little bit overlapping each other inside here. Because I like orange. Oh, thank you, bug. The shrimp-a-doodler roundy thingies. This bubble is going to have to come down a little bit here to make room for the little furry parts up there. And then this one will come down around here. And then this will come around over here. And then this will come down. That's okay. Let me see if I can put some more little ones around here. And kind of squeeze themselves into the spaces. Making no right or wrong, just random doodle things. This is what I mean, is that I was surprised. That turned out kind of a neat shape. It wasn't what I expected, but it's a thing now. It's a type of swirl. Maybe the little brown lines are furry. I feel like they're a little bit furry. Little fuzzes. Okay, that worked. Okay, and we'll come in here and make some more doodly round things. That's going to fill that space. And then we come over here and do some more. I do this little dot there. That one there. More dot over there. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I've changed what I try to carry with me in life, and I found that I'm happier for being more intentional about what I carry with me as I move forward in the world. That squeezed in there. And that's been a good bit of progress for my human experience, is to be much more intentional about how I move through this world and what footprints I leave behind as I go. That's not terrible. Kind of got some interesting shapes. I think that this is going to need a lot more coloring later. Um, we're not gonna go over too long here, but I want to finish out this thought. So we may go maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes over. Let's just see how it goes. As I spend more time thinking about the kind of human that I want to be, I get to shape my experience as a human, and the more I try to remember that I'm just a human sharing this space with other humans, that I do a little better. Kind of like those. Those turned out interesting. But I got to see this other empty space that I'm not sure what to do with yet. So let's fill all the other space up with. Let me see about just adding some yellow. I'm going to try to do something similar to this over here. I'm going to kind of, let me see if I can go. Little textural line. That's neat. And then up here, I'm going to add some textural lines that shape brown things like that. And then yeah, that's kind of working. Pattern lines. I'm just kind of creating a little bit of background texture with some of these yellow lines. That turned out okay. That's kind of neat. I mean, it's not professional Zen-tangly, but it is kind of interesting. And yeah, if you guys want, just as a plug for a friend, Delphine sent me all of the supplies that I have here to start, and she has a great little store. If you want some of this paper, this is official Zentangle paper, and I really like these little things. They're really good. There's a link there in the chat to her store, and we want to support our friends, and so she's one of our art friends, and has got a great little store that you guys can go to and get all the Zentangle stuff that you want. I do believe she is a certified Zentangler. I am not, but someday maybe I will be. But right now, I just want to become a consistent Zentangler, doodler person. Okay, that was kind of weird. That turned out to be more interesting than I thought it was. I want to do some more. I want to do some more with this orange. I don't feel. Oh, actually, one more. Let me put some little yellow inside here. Little yellow. Actually, let's go ahead and let me just take out. I have a little. We can take a couple more minutes. I wanted to try these. I want to try these. This Derwent Intense. This is a friend of ours sent these over to me. And so that's a pink color. I don't want pink. I want orangey. So this is kind of a neat color. Golden yellow. I'm going to put some golden yellow inside here. I'm just going to kind of follow along with some of the shape in here. Just add a little bit of texture, some line texture to some of this. Ooh, that looks good. It adds a little depth to it. Just a little bit. Right in here too. That helps a lot. That's good. That was a good addition. I like that. And then see, kind of just loosely added some shading there. Let me see if I can find an orangey one. Ooh, tangerine. Okay. With some tangerine, I'm going to add some shape to these little spheres inside here. Just a little bit of little implication, a little bit of roundness to some of them. Little shape. Give them a little shading on the sides, so they got a little bit of roundness to them. That really makes them pop up a little bit more, I think. What do you guys think? I like that a lot better. I'm gonna add some all the way around here. This won't take too long. Add some loose line dimensionality. These are really cool. They're very the pigment on them is very strong. I can see why they're called Inktense. They're very soft. The textures are very nice. The little lead inside here, that turned out really good. Okay, that was better than I thought. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna find some green. This is mallard green. All right, well, mallard, duck green, I guess. So we'll add just a little bit of shaping around some of these lines. Not really sure yet. Kind of like that. Just a little bit of skitchy. Add some add a little bit here. And I'm not being too particular with it, but I think that just a little bit is adding to the shape, make those guys a little more dimensional. I like using color to add dimension, complexity. All those words, the $2 words that I learned in school, art school, when I was chasing cinnamon around. Yeah, that adds some coolness to it. Intense is watercolor but permanent once it's dry. I love it. Oh, neat. So I guess I could probably come back in with a brush with water. I'm using these just like for colored pencils, which is probably like, and again, not appropriate use of product, but I'm doing it anyway. And so thank you guys for sticking with me as I've doodled. This has been a fairly productive doodle. I kind of like that. Now I'm going to quickly go over to some pink, some salmon scarlet pink. Ooh, let's see. It doesn't kind of look pink here. It looks more orangey here, but I want to see what happens when I lay some down. So, oh, that does turn out pink though. That's definitely some pinkiness. It's definitely got some pinkiness to it. That's not terrible. That's kind of neat. Do not judge a pencil by the color of its lead. That turned out cool. A little bit of there. Now I'll find a red one real quick. Hot red. Hot red. And then I'm going to add some little round dimensions in there. little dimensions. Just enough on one edge so it gives some implied shape. That turned out okay. And maybe I'm gonna get a different one. I'm gonna get mild vermilion, and I'm gonna try to give some line dimension to some of these. And again, like I said, it's not so much about one line, it's about the combining of all the lines. So even though I'm not being super precise about this, it still lays a really nice color story for your eyes. And your eyes will fill in those shapes and lines to make the story. So, like, it was supposed to be that way. And that adds a little bit of color story along those curves. Not quite as flat. That's neat. And then let me find a blue. There's so many blues. Mauve, peacock blue. That seems like a good peacock. That's a good color. Oh, there's navy blue. Let's try peacock blue. I'm gonna take my peacock blue, and I'm gonna hit these guys with a little bit of just a little peacock blue on all the little bubbles. And you know, when you guys are posting up your pictures in group, you know, let me know, you know, if you like my philosophical waxing, and you know, I'd love to know what you guys try to carry in your cups, because that's it's always, I think that we learn more from each other than as adults than any place else, and sort of knowing what we're going through as people and little humans walking through this great big humany world in our big cocktail party that is life. Kind of knowing what other people are going through. Hello, kitty. Am I not going fast enough? Give me a break, kitty. I want to finish up my little textural dot. I'd like to know what other humans are going through, because you know, it's sharing this is, you know, what sharing our lives together and what we do. That, you know, how we, you know, I like to learn. I like to know how my fellow humans are being human. And you know, that turned out, I kind of like those. Kind of like all these little dots, these little bubbly things. I think they turned out okay with just a little bit of that helped. And now that seems good, but I can't stop. I'm gonna take some purple. Some purple. Deep rose. Actually, I was wrong. It's not purple. It's deep rose. And I'm gonna add some. I'm gonna add a little bit of color splash along these lines. And maybe next time, if I have more time, I'll try to get some watercolor pens. There's deep rose. I'm gonna try another. This is another purple-looking thing, dusky purple, and I'm gonna make some dusky purple inside these. That is very dusky. It's almost more brown than it is dusky. Purple. Got those. And then let's go with deep violet. Deep violet will be our these little guys. I'm gonna complement them on the other side with a pink, I think. So I'm gonna try it or see how it goes. Got that on that side, and then I'm gonna go back over here to this deep rose. I'm gonna add some deep rose on this side. Oh, I jeweled them up. Okay, all right. Ta-da! Look at that. I used some Inktense pens, and I used some Inktense Derwent colored pencil things, which ink pencil crayons, and so I like those. Those are really good colors. Very happy with that, and I'm not unhappy with how this turned out. I like this a lot. This is my favorite part. This is my second favorite part, and this is my third favorite part. This is the most winged part, but these things are pretty cool. Let me see if I can get my camera to back out a little bit. We'll slide these over and see. Let's maybe two. There we go. That side. We'll go into here. That'll give us. Put all these away real quick, and I'm going to take out all the ones that we've done so far, and there we go. Look at that. Those are the ones we've made so far. This is my progression in doodling. Yellow and orange is your favorite part. The tattoo. That's kind of. I'm so glad that you like that. I'm the least confident in this one. I'm the least confident there, but I like this a lot. I just kind of think that's pretty good. And paisley is something I really want to learn to do good, or little paisley. I think they're really cool. I'd like to be good at doing the 60s and 70s pattern designs. So as we keep going, you'll probably see some of that as I work into this. I really like this. This has been a really good doodle experience for me tonight. So thank you guys for doodling along here and letting me sort of, as I say, wax philosophical about life, the universe, and everything. And before I say so long and thanks for all the fish, I'll go a little big. Whoop, whoop. So don't forget, if you have not doodled the like and subscribe button, please do that before you leave, because that tells the algorithm that I did okay, and that other people should see this, and I would appreciate that. If you haven't joined the Art Sherpa patronage, please consider joining it. It's one of the great ways you can support this. Yes, 42. All of you know the secret code, so I'm glad to see that you all also have a heart of gold. So thank you. We'll continue to make sci-fi and book stuff. I've been reading the Dune books, so I'm deep in Dune. Maybe we'll do some Dune-inspired doodling at some point too. But thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being part of my art family. And let me see if I can. Thank you for being part of my art family. Thank you for doing this with me, for making this possible. I love you guys. It fills my heart with so much joy to be able to see you guys out here and do this. And yes, don't forget, don't panic. Just doodle. Nothing we can't all just do. And I'll see you guys next week. I'll put up the next video here really soon, so you guys can see that and join in. I'll probably later tonight I'll put it up in the channel so that it'll be the next Zen Doodle. And love you guys. See you soon.